Welcome to your reading. Thank you for everybody who's been liking and subscribing and commenting. It means a lot. I have a Knight of Swords in a verse. It's like someone wants to say something or someone's got something on their mind, but for whatever reason they can't communicate it directly. So there's maybe passive aggressive communication, or this thought of, if I try to communicate, this person won't listen, or if I try to share my thoughts, this person won't listen, or it won't matter. So this person here could be being indirect with their communication. They could be being like passive aggressive, or they could be being like dropping hints, all that passive aggressive stuff, being like rude, trying to sort of make it known that they have an opinion, or make it known that they have some kind of thought, but they're just like not willing to be upfront, or they don't want to be upfront. And there's a Two of Pentacles. This could be someone who's looking at someone else's money and having some sort of opinion about someone else's being able to balance themselves financially. But if that's the case, then this individual here in the Knight of Swords has literally no business even knowing about someone else's money, let alone having opinions about it. So if they have an opinion about someone else's being able to balance their money, they really shouldn't feel that they can. I think that's probably okay. I think they really shouldn't feel that they can go just say something about it to somebody. They're going to have to be passive aggressive about it. If they have a thought, or if they have an opinion about how somebody else is able to balance their money properly, like they're going to end up feeling they can't say anything, and that isn't their business anyway. So honestly, they really shouldn't. But this is not their money, really. It's someone else's. So mind your business, But yeah, someone else is able to balance their money just fine. They have a budget, or they have things they need to pay for, or they have a household to care for, or whatever they're doing. So they're doing that, and that's in the upright. And the Fool's in the upright. So there's something about some kind of new plan, or new movement, or new position. Someone could be mostly able to balance themselves financially. Like say 90% of the time, they're able to make themselves have balance. And that could be something that is new. It mostly could be because it has to do with that Knight of Swords universe, where someone has an opinion, or someone's thinking about someone else's being able to balance their money, or someone else is being able to balance their budget, and they really can't say anything about it or do anything about it. So the only thing they can do is be passive aggressive about someone else's ability to balance their money. So someone still balances their money, and then that's the Fool. So like this is something new. So someone maybe in the past struggled to balance their money if someone had an opinion about it. If someone had some sort of specifically criticism or negative opinion, or could even just be envy and trying to assert their opinion about someone else's money, that could have in the past bothered someone. But from what I'm seeing, it doesn't right now anyway. This person over here in that Knight of Swords is in the verse is just going to have to still feel a certain way or think a certain thing, and they can mind their own thoughts. And if they want to be involved in someone else's money, they can mind their own money. Because from what I'm seeing, their negative opinion or their passive aggressive communication style is not doing much damage. Six of Swords in reverse. So there's something about someone not being able to get away from something, or someone choosing to not bother to get away from something. This could be this Knight of Swords in reverse person who feels trapped in some sort of situation. And like they're looking at someone else's money and the ability to balance someone else's money, and want to have some kind of opinion about it, or want to be critical and want to cast judgment upon it. But the new thing is that that's not really doing anything. So then this Knight of Swords universe could end up feeling like they want to run away. They can't. from their circumstances. Their circumstances could make it so they can't escape. They could even not be able to afford to escape. Say they escape using something. They could use drugs, or they could overspend. They could do something to escape their circumstances without actually leaving, and they can't afford to do so, or they can't do it for some way, shape, or form. This could also be this Two of Pentacles person deciding that this is fine, that this kind of Knight of Swords in reverse stuff is going to happen all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. The more stable they are in their finances, the more certain people are going to have an opinion. And sometimes that opinion literally makes no sense because it has nothing to do with their individual situation in any way. It's more like a projection or some kind of envious criticism. So they could sort of think, it's new that this isn't really doing anything to me, and it's new that this is good, so I'm not really even going to try to escape from it at all. So they're not going to feel like they have to get away. Because it's like everywhere they go, there's going to be somebody doing that. There's going to be somebody looking at their being able to balance their budget, or looking at them maintain themselves financially, and like looking at it and like being angry about it for some reason. They'll find that everywhere. Three of Swords. So there's a heartbreak. I think this Six of Swords actually is this Knight of Swords in reverse then. Because if they feel they can't escape from a situation because they have some kind of negative opinion, or have some sort of criticism, or have some sort of thoughts about someone else's Two of Pentacles Fool, they can't say anything or do anything with that. They're going to stay like that. Like, they're going to have that opinion is just going to stay inside of them and just like ruminate inside of them. And they're just like going to ruminate their thought like constantly, and it's just going to make a big stress inside of them. They can't get away from it. They can't escape their own judgmental mindset about someone else's balancing their money, and someone else is having a new mindset, or like a new lease on life, or like a new opportunity to be stable. And they can't get away from themselves, and they're basically judgmental and being unable to mind their own business, and they can't escape their mind. And that's heartbreaking. Like, they're heartbroken by the fact that they can't get away from... It's like they're looking at someone's Two of Pentacles, and it makes them sick. Like, they're getting sick from seeing someone else, like, do the thing that they can't do. Or do the thing they don't want to do. They don't want to balance their budget, or they don't want to be responsible with their money, or they don't want to have to rein themselves in to not be able to go on flights of fancy and enjoy money. They could even be on some kind of thing where they actually don't get to manage their own money. Someone else might do that for them. So whatever that is, they end up feeling super, super heartbroken over it, like really bad. If I had some advice to give to this Knight of Swords in reverse, I would just say, honestly, you minding someone else's, you pocket watching someone, you minding someone's money, like watching their money, like for them, is making you sick. Like, you're making yourself sick. You're hurting yourself, not minding your own financial business. So I'd say to them, kindly mind your own business, because you're just causing yourself problems. That's what I would say if I got the opportunity. Every day. So then the Nine of Swords happens. So it escalates from the Six of Swords in reverse to the Three of Swords to the Nine of Swords, and that is a terrible, terrible, terrible place to be. That is horrible. Yeah, because it makes sense. Because if that Knight of Swords can't express their opinion, where they have this really sharp criticism they want to make about somebody, but they have no business doing it, or that person's not even bothering to hear them. And then this is a new thing that they're balancing their budget no matter what. They're balancing their day-to-day life no matter what. The inability to escape their own negative mindset and other people doing better than them, like especially if they've already decided they don't like this person and this person's doing better than them, and that's unacceptable in their mind, and they can't be around it because it makes it's like intolerable to them, but they can't get away from it and they can't escape, and they feel so betrayed and heartbroken by reality, or even by this person, by this Two of Pentacles person. Like, I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. Anyway, the Nine of Swords is because this person basically broke their own heart. This Knight of Swords person, by refusing to stop pocket watching and refusing to mind their own business, they basically put themselves in a bad position, and they basically cause themselves to struggle. Like, they cause themselves to have sleepless nights. They cause themselves to be stressed. They cause themselves to have mental health issues. They cause themselves to have nonstop critical thoughts and intrusive thoughts. It's not just, oh, they're having this. It's like, no, they actually made it happen. It's not just, oh, they're just like that. No. Their actions made this happen to them. And from what I'm seeing, this Two of Pentacles Fool is like, it's not even touching them. Especially that whole Two of Pentacles Fool, it's like, I just thought of like, because the Fool in Tarot is not like a fool necessarily. They're like, they're in a new position. So they might not necessarily really know the whole terrain yet, but they're totally cool to go explore. So I just thought about that. I thought about like somebody sitting there in their Knight of Swords in reverse going, oh, that Two of Pentacles fool. They're a fool because this Two of Pentacles is only Two of Pentacles. It's not 10 of Pentacles. It's not 6 of Pentacles. It's not 9 of Pentacles. It's only 2. They're a fool. They're a fool because they value that Two of Pentacles. That makes them a fool. That Knight of Pentacles in reverse, that Knight of Swords in reverse is thinking that. But they're thinking that by themselves, and they're unable to communicate to this Two of Pentacles person that they're a fool. Because they're not that kind of fool. They're very, very happy. And they're very, very good with themselves. And everything is it's like they're not looking at themselves and saying, well, this is only Two of Pentacles. It's like, no, Two of Pentacles is what builds everything else. It's being able to support this and that at the same time. That's a big deal. Without that, there's no way that the Ten of Pentacles could even happen. So back down to where they put themselves in a bad position, this person, this Knight of Swords in reverse, put themselves in a bad position where they can't escape. They feel heartbroken and they're like mentally tormented. Because they couldn't mind their own business, could they? And we got the Eight of Swords. So as well as the Nine of Swords, this person's in the Eight of Swords. Oh my goodness. So they are trapped by their own thoughts, which makes sense with the Nine of Swords. They're trapped by their own thoughts. They're trapped by the words, their own mind, their own thoughts, their own criticisms of other people and themselves. And they're trapped by other people's thoughts and the criticisms of other people. And they're blindfolded, meaning they can't see the truth, or they can't see their way out of that. This is a bad thing. This is a bad place to be. See, it was easy, just mind your own business. But not everybody thinks that way, right? Nope. And then another Swords in reverse with the Page of Swords in reverse. So this individual could sort of be feeling like, or could be acting like, or could be communicating like a very, very, very young child, or a very immature individual, where they could want to know, like they could want to sort of like snoop and know stuff about somebody, or they could want to like I said, with that Knight of Swords in reverse, they could want to like jab at someone, or poke at someone, or prod at someone, or provoke someone. They could want to do that. They could want to create a circumstance where they're getting reacted on, like someone's reacting at them, or someone's trying to tell them to stop, but at the same time as they're gathering information. Also, we have the Five of Swords in reverse, and that's going to be the last card for this reading. This is actually not really doing what they hope it will. It's actually not getting them the information they want, and it's actually not giving them that sense of satisfaction that they're actually able to get one over on anybody. they're still left holding all of the swords that they came upon with, and that tortures them mentally.